Okay, folks, this is really important. What I've got here, this is to do with the dreadful saga of COVID-19, otherwise known as coronavirus or simply COVID. Whatever name it goes by, it's a pain. And the strain we're dealing with at the moment during this Greater Sydney lockdown, and I think it's happening in Melbourne still. Melbourne's gone into lockdown as well recently. But this COVID is the strain of COVID we are dealing with, which is extremely contagious and difficult to control than the original strain. Well, it's known as Delta. And I'll tell you one thing, Delta is a fucking bitch. Delta, the stupid COVID strain, is a fuck up. It's a bitch. It's really hard to control. And it's been ripping through our fucking city, even eluding lockdown. It's not being well controlled despite the strict lockdown orders we have. And it's really not a nice disease. But then what disease is nice, folks? Anyway, let's see what we've got. I got tested today for COVID. And this is some paperwork for it, some COVID test result paperwork that I got today. So hopefully my test should hopefully be negative. I can't imagine it being, but it's always good to get tested when you do get those cold and flu type symptoms, or even the mildest. They say in the authorities say that whatever feelings you get, like a sore throat or whatever however small it might seem, you got to get tested. So I thought I'd get tested because I felt like I had a bit of a scratch in my throat on my way to work this morning, and now that's turned up looking a treat already. I'm really happy with that. But basically, it's always good to get tested when you get those cold and flu or even the tiniest of the scratches in your throat. It's always good to get tested, folks. So just listen to the authorities and follow their directive, however much you don't want to, because we have to get the infection numbers down, and we have to try, because we need to get out of this lockdown. It's costing people their livelihoods and their businesses and jobs and all that. So if we can just follow the authorities as best as we can and listen to them and don't get too obsessed with it, folks, if you can avoid it, because that'll just drive you fucking bonkers. But if you can just keep track of what's happening and shit every now and then, hopefully that'll steer us all out of trouble eventually. But I'm using my time at home to make these demos today. I'm hoping to still do my weekend demos. I just want to get my stuff done. I'm trying to get in touch with a loved one, and I'm trying to get this stuff to go viral, pardon the pun, on social media. And it's not as easy as it looks, trying to get your stuff to go out there. I think I made it too big on the horizontal, so I'm going to make it 110. But basically, yeah, we have to try and stay safe as much as we can without losing our shit. I feel sorry for the people whose jobs are reliant. When job work stops, that's the problem. People are going to lose money. I know money is not everything, and I'm a person who hates the love of money and the people that preside over it. But basically, money is a necessity in this society, in this world. It's just the attitude towards money that must change. But this is probably not the time to talk about this. The COVID is, the Delta strain is what we're dealing with. I think I just said that. The Delta strain is extremely, I think a good word would be virulent, if I'm correct. Extremely virulent. It just seems to elude lockdown it's like every time a new bombshell emerges on the primetime news, or the news, not always the primetime news, but in the news in general, there's always a new fucking bombshell, a new restriction, a new outbreak. Oh fuck, it's getting too close to home. But basically, we have to just roll with it somehow, folks. I just hope things will improve anyway once the vaccine gets rolled out, and that's another issue. If you can get access to a vaccine, go get it, go for it. Especially, even if you can't get the Pfizer vaccine, the AstraZeneca, despite the side effects that you occasionally rarely get, should I say, the blood clots, you're much safer with that than you are catching COVID. So, COVID's a bitch. Anyway, that looks really quite interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.